Hey everybody, it's Kate, the West Coast Paper Crafter. It is December 9th, Monday, December 9th, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you are joining me from my spare room slash craft room in East Sooke, Vancouver Island, Canada. So tonight I am going to show you a very fun blending and masking technique to make a very pretty background for a Christmas card. So I will be using 3 shades of blue. I've got Night of Navy, Blueberry Bushel, and Pool Party. Anyway, let's get started. I'm just going to flip the camera around and it might get a little bit bumpy like an earthquake. Hang on. All right, so I'm just going to adjust and attempt to focus in. There, that's not bad. Not bad. I don't know why focusing my camera is my biggest struggle with going live, but it genuinely is. So now you know my secret. I struggle with technology. So I'm just going to bring up my page. I have to refresh it so I can make sure that my hands are always in camera view. All right, so I've got all the, hey Karen, I see you. Thanks for tuning in. I've got all the measurements written down because a couple weeks ago I gave you guys the wrong measurements and it hasn't left my mind. And now I'm paranoid that I'm going to lead you astray and I don't want to do that. So we'll go through all the pieces. I've got basic white. This is 3 3/4 by 5, and this is going to be our very front layer. Hey Nicola, thanks for tuning in. I've got a layer of Pool Party, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I'm just sticking these post-it notes on my wall in case I need to remember what these measurements are again. It's been a day. It's been a day. Hi, Charlotte. Thanks for tuning in. This is another piece of basic white. This is for the inside, 4 inches by 5 1/4. It's kind of the same thing I do for every card. It's the same measurement. I always do 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. And then lastly, the card base in Night of Navy, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I've scored it at 4 1/4 on the 8 1/2 inch side. So that's our basic card base. So to start off, I need my 3 3/4 by 5 piece of white, and I'm going to stamp a sentiment in Night of Navy in the bottom right corner. Get all these pieces out of the way. So I'm using, what is this? I'm using sentiments from Peaceful Season, and this is on the retiring list. That makes me sad. I think all the stamp sets that I bought out of the mini catalog are on the retiring list. I did not choose correctly because I always feel like I feel happy when they don't retire, and then I can keep sharing and using current product on the lives, but it didn't work out for me this time. Hey Lisa, thanks for tuning in from North Carolina. I'm so happy tonight. It looks like my Facebook is keeping up with comments, which is great. So for the masking, I have just got some big post-it notes. I grabbed these from Walmart, I think. I just grabbed them from. And what I did with this was I cut on the sticky part, I just cut a little bit of a curve like I would do if I was making a snowbank out of white paper. So I'm going to just cover up my sentiment. I'm going to try to get it straight without getting my head in the camera. So I'm just going to cover up that sentiment. The handy thing about this color of post-it note and the dark ink that I stamped in is I can see it, so that looks pretty good. So what I want to do first is I'm going to use the trees from the Peaceful Evergreens, and I'm going to stamp them along the edge of this masking post-it note in Night of Navy. Hey Elaine from Ontario, thanks for tuning in. I have never been to Oshawa, to be honest. I've been to Ontario, different places, but never there. Hey, Kate, thanks for tuning in from Virginia. I've never been to Virginia either. I need to travel more. All right, so Night of Navy, I'm just going to stamp the bottoms on my Post-it note, and I'm going to overlap them just the tiniest bit. There, just like that. So I don't need, actually I do need the trees. Before I put my stamp set away, I am going to stamp the corner of this. Yeah, then I'll put my Night of Navy away before I get it in my fingers. Hey Gail, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so now I am going to start with Pool Party, and I'm going to do some blending in Pool Party right in the middle of the trees. So you can use your ink pad to take some of that ink off so it doesn't make a big heavy splotch of color, or you can use paper. Either way work, but I will probably use the paper for the darker color because I find that it's just easier to add more color, but if I put it on too dark, then that's it. There's no going back. Hi, Jeanette from Sydney, Australia. Thanks for tuning in. And you guys might not see Jeanette's comment. Your comments are always hidden, Jeanette, and then I have to go in and unhide them. I think it's because you don't have a profile picture, and Facebook is highly suspicious. But I unhide your comments after the live, and I know you usually comment on my posts and lives, so I appreciate you. Hey Lisa, how's it going? Okay, so I've just added Pool Party right in the middle. I'm not going to close this up because I might need it, and I used the inside of my ink pad just to take off some of that ink, and then I can pick it back up when I need a bit more. I could do the same thing with Blueberry Bushel, but like I said, it's a darker color, so I think it's safer for me anyway to take a little bit off on paper. And then I'm just going to go around the edges, and I will pull that color into the middle and meet up with that Pool Party. And then I'm going to keep adding a bit of color just around the edges, excuse me, to make the edges a little bit darker, but I don't want to make it dark in the middle. So for this background, you can do as dark as you like if you want it to look like a really nice night sky, but I'm going for maybe dusk. Hey Terry, thanks for tuning in. Hello Judy. I have had the funnest weekend, I have to tell you guys. I went on a little road trip with some girlfriends, and we went to a tea leaf reader on the island a little ways away. So we had a little bit of a drive. It was really nice to chat and catch up with everybody. But I got to tell you, I like going to tea leaf readers and having my tea leaves read or my palm read. It's just really fun. Excuse me, something in my throat. Hello, Janice. Thanks for tuning in. I was just talking about my weekend trip to the Calico Cat Tea House in Nanaimo for, well, tea for one, and our palms and our tea leaves read. It was such a fun day. Okay, so now the background is done, and you, like I said, you can keep adding color if you want it to be darker. It's totally up to you. But when we pull this masking tape back that I cut at a little bit of a curve, it looks like we've got trees along the snow in a evening sky. So I like it. Super easy. Hi, Twyla. Thanks for tuning in from Oregon. I think OR is Oregon. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, tell me. So I'm going to map this onto the Pool Party. The Pool Party is just a little bit bigger than this white piece. So it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So after we had our tea leaves read, my girlfriend Leanne wanted to go to a rock and gem store. And she found one in Ladysmith. And I'm like, well, let's do it because Ladysmith's on the way home. So we plug the address into the Google Maps, and it takes us out into the sticks of this rural community and tells us to turn on this, I swear it was a dirt path. Turn onto this dirt path, and it is run down, dilapidated houses and trailers that were up on cinder blocks, and it just looked like the most unfriendly place, to be honest. So we were convinced we were going to turn around, that it wasn't going to end well for us if we kept traveling down this dirt path in the middle of nowhere with all these rundown houses and nobody around. It was actually quite funny. But anyway, we saw a sign, so we kept going all the way to the end of this dirt path. And there, hidden in the forest, was this little business inside somebody's house. And it was full of all sorts of gemstones and rocks and incense and books of all things, knickknacks everywhere. I got a little bracelet. I can't remember what the stone is, but I looked it up when I was there and I took a picture of it. Hey, Marina from Ontario. Thanks for tuning in. So, super simple. I'm just going to glue the inside down, and then I'm going to spruce up the front with some embellishments. But that was my funny story, is about how nervous I think we were all feeling as we were driving in the middle of nowhere in a place that honestly didn't look very friendly. But it turns out it was friendly. The shop owner was lovely. And yeah, definitely had a lot of neat things to look at. So I will go back. And it was busy too. Like while we were there, so many people showed up. It was really surprising because I'm telling you, it truly was in the middle of nowhere. So there's the inside. I don't like a naked card, so just a little bit of stamping. The outside, super simple. You could send it like this, just ink, paper, stamps, and you don't have to do anything fancy. But I am going to add some white loose snowflakes, mostly because Judy needed a hammer and screwdriver to get into her snowflakes, and I've been thinking about that, Judy, and feeling for you, because you know that they must have went everywhere when you finally manhandled your way into these snowflakes. I don't know why your package was so hard to open up. Hello, Nana. Thanks for tuning in. So all I'm going to do for these snowflakes is I'm going to do some very small random dots of Tombow, if I can get my glue to work. And then I will let those snowflakes just dry for a little bit. It doesn't take very long. And I prefer Tombow over glue dots because the glue dots are almost a little bit too big. And I mean, you can roll up a glue dot and make it really small, but it still is thicker than the Tombow. What am I at? I'm at 6. I have to have odd numbers. I don't know why. I think it's because Tanya, the Canadian stamper, told me once that we need, it has to be odd numbers. I don't know. What do you guys think? Odd numbers when it comes to gems? They did go everywhere, Judy. Oh my goodness. And they're precious because these sold out and you can't even buy them anymore, which is too bad because they're perfect for adding some snowflakes, obviously, to your card, but also if you wanted to do shaker cards, these are really cute in a Christmas themed shaker card. I did one of them, only one, because I don't do a lot of shaker cards. My attention span is too weak. So, yes, Tanya, odd. There's my buddy, the Canadian stamper, popping in. Tanya and I are going on a road trip to Vancouver tomorrow. It's work related, so but it's still going to be fun. Wink Estella on the trees? Yeah, actually, you're right. That's a great idea. That is a great idea. Tanya's a genius, everybody. She's also my craft dealer. She is the reason I got started in paper crafting. And with the amount of money I spent on supplies, I'm not sure if I should thank you or curse you. I'm just kidding. I'll thank you. All right, I got a little bit too much glue on this snowflake. I'm going to try to fix that. So I put a post just before I started this live. I put a post out about my top 5 reasons why Tombow should go in every paper crafter's stocking. And one of the reasons is because it dries clear. So that's handy for sloppy gluers like me. All right, now Tanya says, Wink of Stella. This still is too much glue, but yeah, you know what? It dries clear, so why am I even worried about it? I'm gonna let it go. So I've got my Wink of Stella, which I very rarely use. And I don't know why I don't use it, because it's like magic. If you have never used Wink of Stella, it is like a glitter paintbrush. So I'm not sure if you'll be able to tell because my lighting isn't great in here, but basically I squeeze this little chamber and this pretty shimmery liquid comes out and it dries clear, but it leaves a really pretty shimmer wherever you paint this on. And it's subtle, but you can definitely see it. I think I need a new Wink of Stella. Maybe not. Maybe it's me. It's probably user error. Anyway, so I'm just going to paint these trees and they're going to have a little shimmer. Thanks, Tanya. That was a really good idea. You're so smart. I am cursing our trip just the tiniest because I said I was going to be at your house at 5:30 and I live half an hour away from Tanya. So this means I'm actually going to be getting up sometime before 5, I guess 4:40. Can I get ready in 20 minutes? Yes, I think I can. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that shimmer. I hope you can because it really does add to your card. So Janice, Wink of Stella is your favorite. I did not know that. Do not be late. I'm not going to be late because I was the one suggested we go at 5:30 so we can stop for coffee. We still got time for coffee, right? I'm talking the good coffee. I'm going to buy you a $6 latte for driving. So Celebration is coming in January. I cannot show you the inside of this yet. There's rules, people. There's rules. But what I will show you is one of the stamp sets that you can get during Celebration. This is in Canada. It's going to be different in the States, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know what the States is, but I'm sure somebody can fill you guys in. But in Canada, if you spend either $75 or $150, you can pick. They have different tiers. So I have the mushroom paper I used, was that last week? That was a $75 free item. This one is a $150 item, so I spent $150. It is not a shock. I am my best customer. And then I got this stamp set and dies that come with it. So the stamp set is called Heart Shaped. It's going to be really good for Valentine's Day. I really like this, and I haven't even looked at the dies. So Nana Joe, where do you get a Wink of Stella? Well, if you are in Canada, I can definitely help you out with that because I do have an online store. But if you're anywhere else, sadly, I cannot sell a Wink of Stella to you, but I likely know somebody who can. So I can certainly chat with you more about that if you're interested. All right. Oh, thanks, Tanya. Tanya, you're on it. So I haven't opened these. I don't know what's in here because I don't remember, and I can't open up the Celebration because that would be rule breaking, even though Tanya knows I love to break rules. Okay, so in here, oh, this is really pretty. So you get this little die that cuts out heart-shaped in greenery, some leaves, flowers, a little sprig, and then why can't I think of what this is called? Like a banner for the sentiment. Oh my gosh, it's been a long day. So I was thinking next week or sometime this week, if I am motivated and make some time, I would create the sample project from Celebration with this set so you can see what it looks like. Thanks, Jeanette. I'm glad you like it. The masking is really fun, and I use Post-it notes, but you can use like masking tape, masking paper, whatever. I just find Post-it notes work really good for me. I've never had post-it notes tear my paper, but I know depending on your paper, it might. So you might want to just kind of stick that sticky side on your skin or your jeans or, well, sweatpants for me, because that's what I like to wear all the time when I'm at home, just to take a little bit of the stick out depending what kind of paper you use so it won't rip. But post-it notes are pretty good. Anyway, I think that's it. I'm going to flip the camera around. Don't mind my messy room. I'm not the best at organizing my massive craft chaos that I spread all over my spare room. Every time my husband comes upstairs and he looks in the spare room, I can see the worry on his face because he's thinking, what happens when we get company? And, well, all right, I'll just show you. And the bed looks like this. It's like my storage locker. So yeah, he gets this really worried look on his face. It's kind of funny, but of course I'll clean it up if we get company. I'm not going to make you cuddle up with my craft supplies. You might bend them. Just kidding. Anyway, for the next few days, there's free shipping. I believe this is worldwide. So if you're in Canada, in the States, wherever else Stampin' Up! Is sold, it's free shipping for 3 days if you spend a minimum. I don't know what the minimum is in other countries, but in Canada, it is a minimum $100 order. So if you have a wish list that is $100 or more, then it's a great time to order and get free shipping. If you are local, you can, and you don't have $100 in order, then just reach out to me and you can piggyback on my order as long as we can meet up somewhere and I can get your things to you without me needing to mail them because Canada Post is still on strike. So that's what's happening. And Judy, Celebration is going to be available January 7th until February 28th. So I know your craft dealer. You should ask her for catalogs or even electronic catalogs so you can see what's out there. I'm not sure what Christy sends out, but anyway. So yes, January 7th to February 28th. And there's also a really good joining special coming in January. I like to tell people that January or during Celebration is probably one of the best times to join up if you just want to get a discount or if you're interested in doing a little bit of crafting and making a side business with it. January is such a good time to join up because you get a really sweet joining special, but we'll talk about that closer to January. I think that's it. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. Maybe I do. I have an in-person class coming up on Sunday. That is full, so thank you for those who have registered to come. Tanya's going to have to save me because I had goodies for all of you that are stuck in Richmond because of the Canada Post strike. So I talked to Tanya today and she's going to help me out because I do have goodie bags that I want to give everybody who comes to the class and it might not get here in time. So it's always good to have a craft buddy who can have your back when you have big plans, but you don't have the things you need to execute your big plans. So yes, so that's coming up. Class is full. And then of course the Magical Fun Fold class that Tanya and I collaborated on, that is still available. It is online only, video tutorials, PDF tutorials, and a bonus template. And that is available through either Tanya or myself until December 31st. So if you haven't checked out Tanya's page, she is the Canadian Stamper. She is my buddy and she was my craft dealer until I became my own craft dealer. So check out her page, the Canadian Stamper. She does good stuff. I'm jealous actually, because I have project envy. You'll have to check out her stuff and you'll know why. Anyway, that's it, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If I missed any comments, I'm going to go back and catch up and say hello. I really appreciate that you take time to watch me live, throw comments in and engage with me. And I also love it when you catch the replay. So whether you're catching the replay on YouTube or Facebook, I love it if you say hello, tell me where you're from. I will post the measurement photo in the Facebook video if anybody wants to make this. I'm going to put that photo with all the measurements right in the comments for you to find it. And if you're watching on video, wow. See, I said it was a long day. If you watch on YouTube, The measurements will be in the video description, so you don't have to scramble to write them down when I'm ripping off all the post-it notes and all those pieces. Anyway, thanks everybody, and I will see you hopefully midweek when I make something out of this from Celebration to give you a sneak peek of what's inside without really letting you see what's inside that catalog. All right, everybody have a really good night, and thanks so much for joining me.